I should have had a mini egg.
Well, because I had a peanut.
Yeah.
That should be our nicknames.
Yeah.
Peanut,
Oh my gosh.
peanut and mini egg.
I thought you meant that should be the beginning. Podcast brought to you by Peanut and Mini Egg.
Welcome back to A Coffee and a Cry. This is our second time recording this podcast.
Yeah.
The first time we messed up super bad, and
I beg to differ. I don't think we messed up. I think our technology messed up.
well, basically we recorded it for an hour, a solid hour, which is longer than any podcast we've ever recorded.
Yep.
And then the file corrupted.
And it sounded like we were talking. It sounded like we're like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like.
So then we took a break. We watched an episode of The Office. We had some fajita wraps.
Had some fajitas.
And now we're back. Now we're back.
Welcome back.
So our topic of this week is, for the second time today,
we can't do this the whole time.
I don't know, is self-care.
Mm.
Because we've already done an episode on self-care.
Yeah.
For our first season. But we're revisiting it because we wanted to, basically. We've grown a lot in the last year.
Yeah.
And we think the way we look at self-care is completely different now.
Yeah, I think, it's sort of, especially as, uni stress has sort of peaked, it's sort of much more important, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're much more aware of, our own self-care, I guess.
Yeah, so you did something crazy the other day when you were doing work.
Yeah, man. Procrastination is a really powerful thing.
Yeah.
I was really sick and tired of the way my uni bedroom was laid out. It was laid out like that from when I moved in September, because that was just what the best configuration seemed to be. And I realised that it was really like bumming me out. I don't actually think necessarily because of how it was configured, but just because I felt like I couldn't move it.
Yeah.
But no, so I took a whole morning to rearrange my bedroom because I was getting really sick of it and I wasn't up for doing work that day, and so I decided to rearrange it all. And it was so hard because it was just me and I have a double bed and I had to take the mattress off. It was a nightmare. But afterwards, after my little reconfiguration, I changed the art that's on my walls and I made my bed all nice and all things like that. And actually, it made me feel so much better that I was then able to be productive that afternoon, which is amazing. I know that feng shui is a real thing and the whole sort of tidy mind type thing is very powerful, but just to be able to move things around and to have a fresh space, I'm so excited and much more productive now, which is
tidy house, tidy mind.
Exactly. But similarly to that, something else I did this week was as well as organising and sorting my room out a bit, I also organised all my computer files because, oh my gosh. I mean, actually, to be fair, they weren't that bad.
Should I tell the full story? Did you hear the full
No,
story?
no.
Basically, when we were walking to uni one day, and that evening we were struggling to find a file for this podcast.
Yes.
And I said to Katie, I was like, you need to sort out your file management. And she was like, no, I don't. And I was like, yeah, you do. We can't find this file. And then she was like, no, we don't. And then a couple of days later, she was like, I sorted out my files the other day.
Yeah.
Felt pretty good. And I was like,
yeah,
I hate
okay.
this. This will come up later.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll circle back around.
Yeah, I was talking about round to that feeling.
Yeah, so I did, okay. So I didn't think it was that bad. I had folders, but it was just that within those folders there was no...
Narrator. It was bad.
there was just, there was not much rhyme and reason. But so I did that, and actually that, in itself even if it's small, just putting things into folders, it makes it easier to work, which makes working easier, which sounds stupid, but it literally doing something small like that, and I'm like, oh man, if I need that file, or I'm not panicking where it is anymore, I know exactly where it is, which is incredible. Basically, you should do that if you haven't already.
Yeah, definitely.
But you did it with social media. You're much better at doing that than I am.
Well, basically, my job mostly is on social media because I have a lot. I don't like saying large following because it's not really. I have a fair amount of followers on Instagram because I work. It's my job, and I blog a lot and everything like that. So that's where that comes in. But what I'm fed up with is going onto my Instagram and seeing people pushing weight loss products, and just thin models claiming that this tea helped them lose 10 stone in a day, and I'm like, I know, weird measurements. That's why I did not believe that. But, and stuff like that. So I went through a bit of like tidying, I guess, myself.
Spring cleaning.
Yeah, spring cleaning. I spring cleaned out my social media and unfollowed all the Kardashians.
They're lost.
And they do laugh at the birthday.
I know. They're lost.
So basically, I unfollowed all the Kardashians. I unfollowed a lot of models, but I do follow models. Like, I follow all models. Like, it's not like, because, like, if they're thin...
It's not skinny shaming.
No, it's not skinny shaming at all. It's, like, that's their body, and they worked hard for it, and, like, you know... But, like, because social media is my job, I don't want to have to go to work and then end up feeling bad about myself.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So it's like, and also, you know, those models are not drinking that tea to make them skinny. They're
eating right and exercising every day to make them skinny.
It's poor, to me, it's just made my mental health poor. Yeah, so it was just easier just to go through and tidy that up. That made me feel better, tidying up my unfollowing unnecessary.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did the same. Yeah. I did the same with Facebook, because I realized that I had these accounts that were sort of, they were like, I can't even remember if they were like people I used to be friends with or whatever, or if it was just sort of like, you know, we have like a page you liked about 4 years ago. Something keeps popping up with videos.
Oh yeah, you said, yeah.
It's sort of like, they started posting like videos and sharing links and stuff that were just like, they were really like, sometimes they were really degrading to women. Sometimes they were, I mean, a lot of the time it's like political stuff or news things, or sometimes it's like graphic content that, you know, the uncensored version is like out and people can watch it or whatever. And it was just sort of like, how I was looking through my Facebook feed and I was just thinking, how horrible is it to see all of this? So every time I saw one, I unfollowed the account or whatever. But like, I realized that actually it was basically the same 2 or 3 sort of accounts. And so I just unfollowed them. So now my feed is just full of dogs.
I had something similar. So obviously, you know, like, because we're millennials, we've had social media for ages. Like, for the majority of our life, we've had social media. So obviously, I'm friends with a lot of people on Facebook that, like, I don't see anymore. Like, I know them from a friend of a friend of a friend. Do you know what I mean? I don't see them anymore and stuff like that. And a lot of those people, because I am from a small town and stuff like that, they share a lot of, like, racist things and sexist things which are just unnecessary. So I also went through and unfriended a whole lot of people. And I think that's probably the lowest form, but the easiest form of self-care, because you don't realise, you spend so much time on your social media, you don't realise the effects on things.
Yeah, even if you're looking at the sort of fitness tea models and all things like that, and you're like, oh, it's but then you go, just marketing.
Yeah, and then you get dressed the next morning, you're looking in the mirror and you're like, definitely. Well, I don't look the same as those women. Yeah. It's because I'm not drinking this tea.
Yeah, it is. It's like, it's much more powerful, I think, than people think. Or people realise. They're sort of like, oh yeah, it's all, you know, body inspiration and sort of...
Yeah, but there's, it's like, there is a difference between inspiration and thinspiration. So inspiration, like, you can be inspired to look like that model who works out 5 days a week and is extremely healthy. Like, that's fine. But there is no way that... There are different body types, and there is... no reason for you to be like, oh, she's thin, so I have to be thin. That's what beautiful is. There is no way that's... So it's just whatever works for you. But for me, I just unfollowed a whole load of... Like, I follow Ashley Graham, who's the first ever plus size model.
Oh, yeah,
she's excellent. But I also do follow, like, I can't think of any models right now. I do follow a few models that are like Victoria's Secret models. Yeah. Because they're funny and they're interesting, but I would never compare myself to them. And if I feel myself comparing myself to them, I will follow them. Yeah. Because, all women are beautiful, and, you know, it's nice to have an array of following.
I was really inspired by, is it Brie Larson? Brie Larson?
Yeah,
Captain Marvel. Yeah, I saw a video about her workout she had to do to become Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I'm never going to be Captain Marvel.
I'm very spot's already filled.
I'm very aware that I won't ever be or look like Captain Marvel, but, like, you know, she inspired me to want to get back into working out and stuff. Yeah. So,
and that's lovely. That's the best. But it's just like, it's, you know, if you.
But I would never look at it and be like, oh, I need to look like Captain Marvel. That's such an achievement that I can get based on the fact that I'm no longer a member at a gym.
That was funny. Yeah, you're not a member at a gym.
Yeah. So for me, as someone that's sort of gone through a lot of, I've gone through the depression tunnel and actually thankfully come out the other side. But for me, one of the biggest things for self-care is knowing the difference between mental self-care, physical self-care, and emotional self-care. Because for me, those are 3 very different categories and they each require different things. So for me, one of the biggest sort of telltale signs is when I feel that I need mental health break. Actually, the I think, didn't the Try Guys do a video where they talked about mental health breaks?
They took a social media break, is that what you remember?
Yeah, they did like a video.
Yeah,
break.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, and for me, knowing when I need a mental health break and knowing that it's deserved and not just I'm being lazy is really important to me, because there are so many days where I'll be lying in bed at 11 a.m. watching The Office and think I need to get up and start doing things. And that's very different from feeling overworked and my brain is like mush and being like, okay, I need to really take a break from this.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, like, knowing those two things and like having that sort of separation, that's a really big part of my self-care.
Yeah. Which
is quite nice. Actually, following on from that, this leads quite nicely into our book club. So a great way for that, actually, I used often to wind down, which is actually...
We both do.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, it helps with our course, you know, you need to read a lot, but...
It feels like work without working.
Exactly. So it kind of, you have that I'm not working kind of feeling, but it's still, you're not like overworking yourself, you're not like stressed out, you're just reading a book.
Yeah.
And actually what's weird is that I often, because I am dyslexic, I use Audible.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And although I could quite easily sit in my bed and read the book, or sit on the sofa and read a book with it plugged in my ears, I actually listen to most audiobooks in the car, which even though, like, I mean, I'm not going to be working whilst I'm in the car, but having a really nice, like, hour journey where I'm not thinking about uni work.
Yeah, it's relaxing.
Really relaxing. Yeah. And I'm just driving, and I love driving, and it's sort of like a really kind of, you know, I guess, peaceful experience.
So what book are you reading this
week? The book I have finished this week.
Oh, you finished, yeah.
Oh, get me. Is The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. In the Christian world, this book is very, very well known. And it's basically... just the concept that there are these 5 love languages and each person has their own primary sort of dialect, and that is how they receive love, and it also is how they show love. And basically there are these 5 love languages and everyone has a different primary one, and it's just about, the book is just explaining about how to recognize your own love language and be able to sort of love or understand other people's, so that you can love them in the way that they deserve to be loved, which is really interesting.
It's a nice sentiment.
Yeah, it's a really sort of, because the book originally, Gary Chapman, I'm pretty sure he originally wrote it for like married couples, but since then, because I'm sure he realised that you can apply this concept to anyone, he then wrote one for single people, one for parenting, one for teenagers, and it's just sort of like, yes, it helps with marriages, sure, but it's any relationship. Yeah. Because, like, I know that my love language is acts of service, which means that when Jack brings me a cup of tea when I don't ask for it, I'm like, oh, you like, it's just the sweetest thing. Yeah. Whereas he might think, you know, a cup of tea, sure, that seems fine.
Yeah, but he might prefer like a hug to be like, I
exactly.
Love you. Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's just, and it's like, because I always cook Jack dinner, and I think that that's me showing my love to him, but actually he might not, although he appreciates it, he doesn't necessarily, like, that's not his first, like, oh yes, she's showing me love because she cooked me dinner. Yeah. So it's just about learning that, and it was a really easy read. It was a lovely, like, because he's a marriage counsellor, he just used examples from couples that came to speak to him, and it was just real life examples and situations and how he tried to help them, and it was just sort of like, this is really easy going to listen to, and actually I learned a lot about myself too, which was really nice.
It sounds interesting.
It made me very aware of like how I perceive love to be, which was really nice, because it means that I can, like,
there's
adapt.
Nothing wrong with inward thinking.
Exactly. It's like, oh no, I'm so it's not, it's like much more sort of, oh, I know how I'm like, now I can project that onto other people.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
What have you been reading?
I have been reading... Oh, God, okay, right, this is going to be so weird, because we've already had the conversation, but I don't want to explain. But I'm reading What Would Boudica Do? And it's by E. Foley and B. Coates, and I'm saying that because I actually don't know their first names. I generally do think they're like a collection of essays, feminist essays. But the front cover, you would not pick it up. You wouldn't.
No.
I got bought it for Christmas, although I think I did request it, but I don't think I saw the cover. I think I just heard about this book.
Oh, right.
And the front cover is definitely Boudica holding an iPhone and a Starbucks latte. So definitely you can find it in Urban Outfitters. Yeah. But like for the second week in a row, I'm reading an Urban Outfitters. I will bring in an actual book.
Yeah. Like when you get in Waterstones.
I actually read more than Katie.
Yeah.
Every book I brought in has just been like, oh really?
Yeah.
But basically, when I was younger, I used to think that Boadicea, it was pronounced Boadicea,
Not
Boudica.
Boudica.
And in the front of the book, it says, "This is how you pronounce her name."
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm just guessing that most people don't know it.
That's so
My dad
stupid.
doesn't know it because my dad used to talk to me about Boadicea all the time, and I was like, "Wow, Boadicea is such a nice name."
That's so
I don't think I like it as
stupid.
much now as Boudica. Anyway, it's a collection of stories about feminist women throughout the ages.
Mm.
Obviously, so Boudica is a great person to focus on.
Yes.
And it's just basically giving you life lessons throughout the day, like daily life lessons about what you can take away from these women's
Nice.
victories. And that's, to me, it's excellent. Like, it teaches you, like, there are different sections. There is a self-care section. There's like a positivity section, and then there's like a self-love section. So there's like different sections for like different women.
Yeah.
But each woman in it is like amazing. And honestly, if you want to know that you're worth something,
Yeah.
like, read that book. Like, honestly, every time you read it, you're like, oh my god, like,
Women are great.
yeah, women are excellent. Like, I don't know how anyone ever thought women weren't
Yeah.
great. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I love it when books do that.
I know.
It's the
Yeah,
best.
like, that's what I'm reading, and it's really, really helped me actually towards, like, I wouldn't say, like, obviously, like, with self-love and stuff, I feel like, obviously, it's not a linear journey. You have days where you feel awful, and you have days where you feel great, and that's life, and self-love is never just, oh, I love myself now.
Yeah.
So this book has really, really helped me towards that, and mental health wise, it's nice. It's nice. It's a nice read. It's nice to read something and almost feel like it'll be productive because you're working on yourself, and that's
Aw,
nice.
That's adorable.
Yeah, that is cute. Oh, put that on the t-shirt. Yeah.
Another thing, yeah. So going back to the self-care sort of threefold, if you like. So another aspect is the physical, sort of knowing that you are very much a human being.
Yeah.
And that although yes, your brain is its own sort of organ. Is a brain an organ?
It's a muscle.
It's a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So even though your brain's doing its own thing,
even though you just didn't use either word, 'cause
I
I'm not
have no
sure.
idea.
It's a muscle.
But like your body still requires a great deal of attention, and I think I always like, although I really like going to the gym and stuff, it was never because I wanted to like be fit and have a good body. If that makes sense. I like working out, so it was like very much a selfish thing.
Yeah.
So like understanding that my body has very basic needs like water and vitamins and decent food on a regular basis.
That's something we both struggle with.
Yes, and coffee isn't a meal.
Oh yes, that's something we. This podcast is called A Coffee and a Cry,
And
because when you drink, all you do is drink coffee. You're definitely going to cry. Because your body needs something more.
No, it's like, and that's the thing is that like I completely neglect that. Like I always think, oh, I'm doing enough because I'm eating every day and I'm drinking all the time. So it's like, surely my body should be happy. But really, it's so much more than that, because it's like you've got to give yourself the decent vitamins and minerals, like all those fruit and vegetables, and not like just being scared of carbs. Like carbs are important too, and protein. Like
that's what these social media sites.
Yeah, they all think that you should be scared of carbs.
But
And
like,
it's
I
no,
love bread.
Carbs are great, but just don't have like masses of them.
I'm thinking about Scott Pilgrim.
Bread makes you fat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I always thought that I was just doing fine because like I wasn't starving myself, and I didn't feel like I was overeating because I wasn't really getting fat or anything. So I was like, fine. But I was like, I'm wrong basically. So I suffer from chronic headaches, which means that, I mean, obviously I get headaches all the time. And basically I've been looking for a cure, or not necessarily a cure, but like something to kind of control them for a really long time now, a couple of years now, and it's tricky because headaches are so sort of temperamental. And basically my dad was fed up of me complaining about having my headaches so much that he Googled sort of what things I can do without, turning to medicine.
Yeah.
And he found out that I needed more magnesium and vitamin B2. So I now eat spinach all the time because that's lots of magnesium.
Yeah.
But as well as that, I mean, because I wanted to see what I could do sooner, was actually I went to Tesco's and got just like standard vitamin B2 tablets, supplements. Mm-hmm. And I've been taking them for almost a month now. And I have to say, they're amazing. And it's sort of like, I mean, the aim is to one day come off them and have like regular vegetables.
No, I just think
enough.
As I've already said this, but I think just keep taking them.
Yeah, but like, I mean,
it doesn't do any harm.
No, it doesn't. That's what I was like, what have I got to lose by taking just a pill each day? Like, they taste disgusting. But like, I mean, I'm seeing much better results than any other kind of medicine I've ever taken.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, it's just the fact that I needed those vitamins that my body was lacking, and it's
and
like
you didn't even know.
I didn't even know, because
No.
I'm like, oh yeah, I eat green vegetables every so often, like I'm
Yeah.
doing fine, I like broccoli, but it's like, no, it's not what it needs.
Yeah.
And so it's literally like that has completely changed my outlook on it all.
Talking about what your body needs,
Yes.
I'm definitely gonna segue
Segue.
into our weekly favourites, because
Yes.
that's our newest section of our podcast.
New
But
segment.
talking about what our body needs, my body's really I'm really sensitive, like skin wise.
Yeah.
I have really sensitive skin. I've always known this about myself, and it's, you know, I just continued using like bottled body wash because I was
Yeah.
like, why not? And I would buy like nice scents and stuff because that's the stuff you
Smell like.
yeah, and it's the stuff you go towards. You're like, oh, but this smells nice, I'll buy
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
What I didn't realise is that, like, I started using, so basically I ran out of soap. I'll tell you the full story. I ran out of soap one day, and this company had sent me some vegan, eco-friendly soap.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, I'll just use this for now. It comes in a bar, which again, is so old-fashioned to me. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
that uses bars of soap really anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start using the soap because I didn't have any in the house. I was like, might as well, you know, it's
Yeah.
here. So I started using it. It's aloe vera. It's perfume free, scent free. It just smells like aloe vera. Yeah, it just smells like a light aloe vera. And the package it comes in is, I can't remember the word. It's,
dissolves.
Yeah, it dissolves. So there's literally there's no waste from this.
Yeah.
It's completely vegan, completely eco-friendly. Like, helps the earth and everything. Started using it. Literally, my skin has never felt better. I don't.
Yeah.
It, like, weird itches that I used to get. That I used to be like, oh, my arm's itchy.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen anymore. Like,
Oh.
random rashes that used to come out, like, it doesn't happen anymore. Honestly, your body needs stuff that you don't even know
Yeah.
that it needs.
Yeah.
And, like, you've got to, like, listen to those little tiny things
Yeah.
in
definitely.
your body. And that was one of them. And I was just like, okay. So I started using it. And I love it. I
Yeah.
literally love it. It's one of my favourite things.
Yeah, I remember actually Jack's dad always saying that, like, with things that like are to do with your body and your skin and things,
Yeah.
like you should never, like, although obviously it's not easy for everyone, but you should never buy sort of the cheap or like not quite.
There are things you don't scrimp on.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's sort of like this is your body. You know, you have the whole mental like idea of my body is a temple. Well, really think about what you're
Yeah.
putting in the temple.
Yeah,
and, like,
definitely.
or on the temple. And it really changes your perspective, and your body will be better because of
no,
it,
definitely.
which is cool.
And also it makes you feel less guilty because it's not
Yeah.
plastic. There's no plastic.
Yeah.
Which I can't quite get to. I will eventually. I reckon I'm going down this road anyway.
Or
But
being plastic free.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I tried it for Lent. I decided to try because I'm not Christian, but
Yeah.
I wanted to do something for Lent, and I'm trying to give up plastic, which I actually haven't used. It's just really difficult because everything comes in plastic.
Yeah.
So like it's really difficult. But
It's hard because in like London, there's plastic and like container
yeah, but
free
they
shops.
cost so much money.
But like we don't have them in Farnham.
No, exactly. So I've started like doing stuff like I haven't bought any plastic water bowls this week. I've taken luncheon every day. I'm using an Urban Outfitters fabric. Where I didn't buy the book at Urban Outfitters. We should be sponsored by Urban Outfitters. I actually own one thing from Urban Outfitters, just so I wouldn't. But I've been like taking a fabric bag from Urban Outfitters that I got and stuff like that. But like eventually, I think I will make my way to using bars of shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your weekly favourite?
Oh yes, this again. Yeah,
Mhm.
self-care. So part of my little, I guess, like treat yourself.
Yes. Treat yourself.
Regime is I've now finding new funny like comedies to watch like give me life, like
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I'm the type of person to watch the same films over and over again because they're safe. I know that they make me laugh, so I'll watch them over and over again, and I don't ever think there's anything wrong with that. But I gave up and I watched season 1 of The Office, and now I'm halfway through season 2.
I'm actually currently on season 7.
Yeah, you're
But
miles ahead.
Neither of us have ever seen it.
No.
Everyone loves. Oh, by the way, it's the US version.
US, not
US,
UK version.
no, but everyone-
Watched the UK version years ago. US
I haven't
version.
seen the UK version. I haven't seen any of The Office.
I mean, it's Ricky Gervais, so it's pretty funny. But like, if you
is
like,
it funnier than the US one?
I think it's hard to say because it's different.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like if when America makes the version of any other English TV
No,
show.
but sometimes they're bad. Like, you remember the American In-Betweeners?
Oh yeah, that was bad. I was
Yeah,
just thinking,
yeah.
that was shocking.
Yeah.
But no, I've started watching The Office, and I love it. And it's sort of like it's really refreshing when you find something new that you love, and it's just sort of like, this makes me feel so good.
So
Laugh out loud.
I have a story to tell, and this is going to come into my weekly annoyances.
This is the segue to weekly annoyances.
But like basically, right, okay, so there is this thing, my weekly annoyance, and this happens in my day-to-day life, but this week has happened more than any time in prior to me. So basically, people don't listen to me. I know it sounds like I'm moaning, but I mean,
it is weekly annoyances.
Yeah,
so
but I'm allowed to moan. Moaning time. You should have a jingle.
Moaning time.
But like basically, people don't listen to me, and I know it sounds stupid, but I will say it's not like with like I'm like, oh, you should like buy this instead of this, and they're like, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll do that. You know what I mean? It's not stuff like that. That's fine. Or like anything like that. That's fine. But it's when I say something like, oh, you should listen to this song, or oh, you should watch The Office, and they either brush me off, or they're like, or either like nah, or they just completely ignore me. And then a week later, they were like, oh my god, have you ever seen The Office? And I'm like, I hate you.
At least it wasn't like that. At least it wasn't like, have you heard of The Office?
Okay, my boyfriend. Okay, so at the moment he's really obsessed with a really, really like dated song now, "Pumped Up Kicks" by Foster People. And I put it on a playlist, and as we were listening to the playlist, he was like, oh, "What is this song?" I'm like, no. And I was like, "Oh no, but it was in Pumped Up Kicks." Maybe it was. I can't remember. It might be Pumped Up Kicks. I might get it wrong. But he was like, he really didn't want to listen to the song. He wanted me to put on something else, and that was fine. And then a week later, he was listening to it, and I was like, "This song's really good." And I'm like, "I know. I was in year 7 when it was out. I've heard it. I put it on the playlist."
I was in year 7. Oh,
and
man.
that like really annoys me, and you do it too. All my friends do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They're just like, no. And then something happens, and they're like, "Oh my god, have you seen this?" And I'm like, I'm done. Like, this friendship terminated.
This over.
Yeah. What's your weekly annoyance? What's your moaning?
My moaning thing. Oh man, it's just like the most typical moan of any girl, basically. Sorry, boys. But my if this is too much information, then get over yourself. My period came a week early.
Oh my god! I was
what
thinking,
an annoyance! Why would it do that?
That is annoyance. But I was just thinking, as you just said that, oh my god, you might find this gross. I saw this meme the other day about periods, and it was like, can we make 2019 a year of me just carrying a tampon to the bathroom and not putting it up my sleeve?
I put it in my bra because I'm embarrassed, or I like.
But why are you embarrassed?
I don't know.
But I do it too. Like, it's not just you. But like, what? Like, who cares if you're?
I know.
Like,
I do when you're like, I'm just like be sat in class or something, or in like a lecture, and I'll like sneakily get my handbag like and unzip it and see it there ready, and then like put my sleeve really long, and then like tuck it on my sleeve, and then like sussily try and like look like I'm itching and tuck it in my bra, and then be like, okay, I'm going to the bathroom.
That's so strange to me, but I do it too. Like I'm not like believe me, I do it too, but I just don't get it. Like,
it is stupid. But anyway, my weekly annoyance is the fact that my period came a week early, and it's sort of like, it's fine. I was expecting this. It's that time of the month, but it's more like I use an app, and the app was like a week out, and so it's just sort of like I was not prepared for this, and I mean it makes a lot of sense because I've been eating so much, which hasn't made me feel great either. But again, knowing what your physical your self-care needs, if I'm hungry for biscuits, I'm going to eat biscuits, but like, I mean, it made sense that it was time of the month, but still, it's just sort of like, I would have thought, like the main thing is that I would have thought by the time I was 23 that I would be in a bit of a more regular cycle, but I'm not. You're going to say about going on the pill?
Yeah, you should go on the pill.
Yeah, I will eventually.
Regulated. I'm not trying to. Obviously, like you got to get ready for the hormones and stuff.
Yeah,
because they're different hormones. But if you want to regulate your periods properly,
yeah.
Like an app is great, but
it's
not always the best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's my weekly annoyance because it just threw me off. I was just like, oh my gosh, and so it meant that I kept crying at episodes of The Office. I was like, why am I crying so much?
But talking of pills,
yes,
it leads us perfectly in our news to us segment.
Yes.
Something happened in the news this week, something scary or something bleak. We're gonna talk about it. What's the fuss? At the end of the day, it's news to us.
So basically, talking of pills, and actually even self-care, I think this falls under every single
absolutely
thing.
Yeah.
But I've started reading this website, and it's called Happy News Round or something.
Good News, wasn't it?
Good News Round?
Something like that. Because I kept thinking it was like Russell Howard's Good News.
Yeah, and it's basically all the happy news that gets flooded out of the newspapers because stuff like Brexit is happening.
Yes.
And I think that's important to read, but basically the latest article was a couple of days ago. The FDA have just approved, it's not out yet, they've just approved a new depression treatment. breakthrough, which is basically a nasal spray.
Mm.
Do you want to pronounce the hormone? What it's called?
No, it's called esketamine.
Esketamine. And basically what it is it's a nasal spray, like you would treat hay fever.
Yep.
And you have it alongside an oral antidepressant, but it's for adults. It's only for adults. They haven't made one for anyone younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's only for adults whose brain is already like comfortable with the hormones that they're putting in their body for depression.
Yeah.
It's like it's for like if you get used to it.
Yeah.
There's only so many times that you can change medication.
Yeah.
So they've changed it up. So you can take a nasal spray alongside it, and it will help you within a matter of hours. So it's like if you're having a depression attack almost.
Yeah, or I would imagine that.
Or like a low period.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, through my experience from when I had depression, it definitely,
Went
like
up and down.
yeah, like everything goes up and down, and it comes in waves, and sometimes it comes in really, really big waves. And I imagine that, like, for the sort of, I guess, even just release of like it working in a couple hours and knowing that in a couple hours I have a little bit of a boost would get me through so much more than just sort of being like, oh, clearly my meds aren't working because I'm on a low, even though it's not how it works. But
Definitely.
like that would be quite powerful stuff, which and it's amazing that it's sort of, as like we spoke about before, about it's being treated as sort of much more as like a illness and something that needs to be treated differently to just, oh, you're a bit sad, you should go to therapy. It's like, this is a real thing that's sort of, a chemical in your brain that isn't working properly.
Yeah, definitely.
And it needs to be treated differently to anything else that, I guess, I mean...
Nothing physical.
Yeah, different to medicine used to be.
But obviously, with many steps in the medical field, there has been some controversy because it does include a chemical variant of ketamine. I almost said ketamine because I almost said ket and then I was like...
Ketamine.
It sounded chubby coming out of my mouth, like ket. But ketamine, which is only a tiny dose of it, and they're saying it's not addictive, but obviously everyone hears the word
ketamine
and they freak out.
Yeah.
So, but it's been FDA approved. It's not out yet, but in America it is covered over most people's insurances.
Yeah,
which again is important.
That's
super important.
Brilliant. It's sort of
I mean, in England, it probably will. If it's depression, it probably will be on the NHS.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but that's, and also actually alongside that is that through their studies, they found that 51% of people were less likely to have depressive symptoms compared to a placebo, which I find fascinating because I always think that the placebo effect in every circumstances, but especially with mental health, I think a placebo effect is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Like having that, and the fact that they actually found out that 51% were less likely to have depressive symptoms, and that be factual.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That to show that it shows like it has that much of an impact is brilliant. And that leads us actually quite nicely into the third type of self-care, which is for your emotional needs.
Yeah.
And this is, I've written on our Google Doc, is the treat yourself.
If nobody gets the references from Parks and Rec, you should definitely watch it.
Yeah. Massage chairs.
Yeah.
Treat yourself. Anyway, but so that again, compared to the mental and the physical, is a completely different aspect of self-care. And I remember actually, I can't remember if it was a TED Talk or a sermon, but there was someone once talking about this sort of metaphor of the fact that you are like a big tank of water, and there's like a tap at the bottom that's always on. And basically, throughout your day, your week, your month, that
maybe
water...
That's good!
That was good.
Yeah.
But like throughout the day, that tank, like it runs out because like... Work is draining. Thank you. Work is draining. Like you're tired. There's traffic. There's you have debt. You have to pay your bills. Like there's all these things that really like pull. You might be having relationship trouble or like trouble at home, whatever it is, or just any other kind of stress, like mental illnesses and things like that. And your whole day is draining. It is constantly draining you. And so in the talk, he talked about how important it is to like top up your water tank. And to do that, you have to know the things that bring you joy. Even if they're small things, and even if they're trivial things, if they bring you joy, they're important. Because like in the society, in the world we live in, like it's the little things that really start to make a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Like for me, this is why I wrote it's a trivial thing. For me, buying things make me so happy, and I completely see why people become shopaholics.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I mean, especially since becoming a student, bizarrely as well, because I'm so money conscious. If I ever spend any money on myself, on like I bought a necklace off eBay for like £4, or like, you know, maybe some new clothes. I bought myself some new Converses the other day, which really like, wow, like, because that was a lot of money.
Yeah. How much
And
are they?
They're like £60.
Okay, I used to do junior because I'm only little feet.
Oh wow, lucky
Yeah.
you.
Uh-huh.
But like, you know, things like that, they are stupid and trivial and like material goods, but they made me feel good. And although, you know, you have to be careful not to get a bit too carried away, but they made me feel good. And so it's like, it's okay to treat yourself occasionally.
Okay, so I have treated myself. I rarely treat myself, and it's
yeah,
kind of
you're
really
not good at treating yourself.
But we obviously moving on to our final finishing stage.
Yeah.
Is I bought a table. I bought a table today. It's a gorgeous dark wood table with like an atlas on the top, kind of like Greek.
It's a map of the it's a map of the stars. It's the astrology. It's got all these signs like Leo and Sagittarius.
It's literally what basically me and my best friend are moving out, which is actually against popular belief is not Katie. No, I'm kidding. we are good friends.
Survey says.
But one of my best friends and me are moving out. I changed it to one. One of my best friends and me are moving out to Brighton after uni, and we need to obviously get furniture, but we're not rushing to get furniture because obviously like funds are limited.
Yes.
And the thing I was looking forward to this week, which I've already done, is buy this table. I saw it at the charity shop and I was like, I need this table. Like the table was it's only a coffee table. So I treated myself.
Yeah.
And I bought a table. But it was 40 quid, but we went half and half. So like, I didn't think it was that bad. But it's literally probably, I'm going to do a blog post about it. It's my first adult post.
You want to say it again?
It's my first adult purchase.
Yeah.
So, it's like, you know, it's fine. It's great. I'm so excited to move in with this table now. Like, completely.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to for the rest of the week?
So this weekend, actually following on from the adulting.
Yes.
This weekend I have a couple of friends coming to stay with me for the weekend and hang out. And it's like so bizarre because obviously with uni, like they went to uni with me last year, but they graduated. And so I have to make a conscious effort to go and see them because I don't live with them anymore.
Yeah.
And so for them, they're coming down tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I'm hoping that it's going to be a really nice, relaxing weekend.
Yeah.
Just to hang out with them. It's really bizarre because, you know, after living with them for 3 years, and now suddenly they're gone, and you have to...
They're adults too.
They're adults too, and they have, like, jobs, and they're, like, it's really weird.
You have to book time out.
I have to book time
like me and
to
Katie,
see them.
Without fail, me and you will see each other every day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, without fail. Like,
even if it's in Starbucks by accident.
Yeah, like, or like, even if, like, we plan to not see each other for the day. We don't see each other on the weekends often.
No.
But on the weekdays, like, even if, like, we plan not to see each other, we probably will.
Yeah. But it's really bizarre.
But they're adults.
As an
you have to
adult,
make plans.
yeah, you have to, like, call in advance and be like, are you free this weekend? It's very strange. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because hopefully it's going to be a nice, relaxing weekend.
Yes, it should
adding
be.
To
I can't see why it wouldn't be.
No, adding to my nice self-care week.
Yes. You have definitely had a self-care week.
Indeed, yeah. I think
she's going to uni tomorrow.
I think
Friday.
I might have taken care of myself a bit too much.
Yeah, no.
But no.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But that's basically it from us, isn't it?
It is this week.
I'm so glad we recorded this twice. We'll be back next week. We don't know what we're going to do next week yet. We haven't really. We're very professional now.
We've got a couple ideas.
We have a couple
down.
ideas. Yeah.
My latest one is relationship with boys. Oh.
We should totally have our other halves on.
Yeah, what a topic that would be.
But,
and we're always on Spotify.
Until next week, take care of yourselves.
Indeed.
And we will be back next Friday, I believe.
I think we post on Friday.
I think we post on Friday. So we'll see you then.